Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. In this video I am going to talk about the dishonest nature of apologetics, as well as showing you why Matt Slick should know better than to use logical fallacies. But before I get into that, I'm going to show you some of the stupidity that I deal with, because frankly these are things that I found amusing. But the first thing that you're seeing is a bit of an ironic thought that had come to my mind, and I thought about getting it put on t-shirts and so forth. I may still do that just to see how many people would get it or get the irony of it. But the first thing you're going to see is a bit of a grammar slam. This person, they start off with, in this first one, "You're just using that as an excuse. I hate this world." And the "your" is way wrong. It really shows they know how to use "your" and "your." In their next one, "You're only bashing me because you're against my beliefs." In the one, they get it right. In the first two, "my what?" The "your" is like your beliefs. You're this, you're that. It's not about "you are." If you're trying to say to someone, like in that first, it should be "you are," or the second "your" that's down there, just trying to use that as an excuse. Granted, that can be a bit nitpicky. But the next, this one made me chuckle. "You make no sense to me." Since what? That is what I asked them. Since what? Because since and sense are completely different words. They're not even close. But the next from them was the highlight. This had me losing it. "I only state my opinion whether people agree or not to start a long argument." Whether people? What do meteorologists have to do with this? Or as I said to them, what? Rain, snow, sleet, hail? Because it should be WHETHER, not WEATHER. The weather that he has there is the weather outside. That is just moronic. And when I see stuff like this, I don't see how I can not respond with, "You're an idiot." But this last had me cracking up. "You are glueless of God's plans." I have to agree, they're right. I am absolutely glueless regarding God's plans, regarding the plans of Satan, regarding the plans of Darth Vader. I am completely glueless. This is just because looking at my keyboard, the C and G, yeah, they're kind of close, but not close enough that you can be, well, that was just a minor typo. It boggles my mind, the stupidity of these people. But then we get into what I deal with a lot with Christians, and that is lying for Jesus. And you're going to see that with Matt Slick and the apologetics. But before I get into that, I wanted to point out something with this aspect of belief. And people saying about, like, either "I believe" or "we believe." One thing that I really want to hammer on and get to where everybody realizes this is there is the, whether it is "I believe" or "we believe." Look at it, whenever I hear somebody say "I believe," what I think of is "I lie." especially when I'm dealing with Christians. Because invariably, when they start trying to use apologetics, they're going to be lying about what's in the Bible. And I'm going to show you that with Matt Slick. He is lying in his claims regarding the aspect of apologetics. But first, I'll get into that. And he has 8 reasons why we need apologetics. And you can see this is by Matt Slick. And I want to show you this clearly. First and most obvious is that we are commanded to defend the faith. 1 Peter 3:15. Now, the aspect of defending the faith. Christians are very big on faith. And I want to show you this because it is an area where I hammer on them, and I'll nail them every time. And that is faith. Let's first look at it, Old Testament. Wait a minute, why is it? There it is. 2 occurrences for the word faith in the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 32 verse 20, and one of the minor prophets. And the only one that says about living by his faith is a minor prophet. The reason that basically faith doesn't come into play in the Old Testament is the God itself is very big on proof. And I want to draw to your attention, and Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God is come to prove you, that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. This God is very big on fear. There's no doubt about that. The thing is, the God is also big on proof. And you can see there are multiple. There's also another good one is Deuteronomy 8:2. And thou shalt remember all the ways which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what is in thine heart, whether, and actually the whether is actually correct here, whether thou would keepest the commandments or no. The God isn't going by faith. If the God of the Bible does not have faith, why should I? What value is there in faith if the God himself is interested in proof? That it does things to prove you, to know whether or not you're going to do what it says. I'll be getting back to some of the other things in the Old Testament as I go through this with the Matt Slick shit. The thing is, oh shit. The second is we need apologetics because it helps Christians know their faith. This is something that is sadly lacking among believers. Most don't know much about their faith, let alone how to describe the Trinity, the 2 natures of Christ, is hacha hacha roti do. The thing is, it's not their faith that Christians don't know. It's their Bible that they don't know. They don't know what is written. And I would contend Matt Slick doesn't know what is written. I don't give a fuck how you want to try to spin it. I don't care how you want to try to rewrite it and make it fit what fits Christian dogma. I go by what are the words on the goddamn page saying. What can I show you is here. I don't make any interpretations about what's in the Bible. I will show book, chapter, and verse as it is fucking written. That's what you have to deal with, Christians, when you're coming at me or when you're dealing with me. Is what do the words on the motherfucking page say? It's not about interpretation. Do you have to interpret what I'm saying? Or do you just have to fucking hear it? Listen to me. That's basically what this comes down to. If this bullshit came from a God, then god damn it, why don't you want to go by what do the words on the motherfucking page say? If this God is such a prick, as Matt Slick is even going to admit, the God is basically a prick when it comes to his law and so forth. But I'm going to really hammer on this. The aspect of faith, like I said, doesn't mean shit. Number 3, apologetics is an attempt to keep people out of hell. I want to focus on that for a second and show you just how evil Christianity is. Christianity, by Matt Slick, is all about torture. That if somebody doesn't think like you, they should be tortured. If you can go along with that, you are morally bankrupt. Don't try coming at someone like me and saying about morality when you are supporting a system, a belief that has thought crime and torture as the core elements of your belief system. The third aspect of apologetics is bullshit. The God takes sin very seriously, and he will punish those who rebel against him and are not covered by the blood of Christ. Bullshit! Matt Slick, you are a goddamn liar, and I am going to show everybody you are a motherfucking liar. It is written, Matt Slick. Psalms 49, verse 7. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give God a ransom for him. That goes in stark contrast to what is written in Matthew 20, verse 28. Even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Bullshit! Obviously, whoever wrote the New Testament did not know the Old Testament. And just in case somebody is, well, that's King James, fine. Here's the Jewish Bible. Now, in the Jewish Bible, it would be Psalms 49, verse 8. And in case anybody is wondering, there is 1 and 2 are combined in the Jewish Bible. Verses 1 and 2 are combined into one verse in the King James. But Psalms 49, verse 8 in the Jewish Bible. No man can by any means redeem his brother, nor give God a ransom for him. But there is also Jeremiah 31, verse 30. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. There is no aspect, and in case anybody wants to see that in the King James. And because this is what I do, Matt Slick. I will show you. I will rub your fucking nose in what is fucking written. Don't give me this interpretation bullshit. Read the goddamn words on the page. But these aren't all there is. Ezekiel. And this is going to get into one that Christians love to take out of context. Ezekiel 18:20 through 23. They love this first part. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. They stop there. They do not read. The Son shall not bear the iniquity of the Father, neither shall the Father bear the iniquity of the Son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. Next verse, Christians. Context. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep my statutes and do what is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die. No need for anything to die. All his transgressions that he hath committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him. In his righteousness that he hath done, he shall live. Verse 23. Have I any pleasure that the wicked should die, saith the Lord, and not that he should return from his ways and live? In the Old Testament, what the words on the motherfucking page are clearly saying is, you want forgiven? Change your motherfucking behavior. That's it. Change your behavior, do what is right, obey the law. However, I want to stress something for all of you. The 10 Commandments do not apply to me. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Sorry, doesn't apply to me. My ancestors were not Jewish. That is specifically to the Israelites, the Jewish people. The 10 Commandments are 10 out of the 613 laws given to the Jews, or the Israelites, if you prefer that term. They do not apply to everyone. I no more have to keep the 10 Commandments than I have to keep kosher. It's stupid to try and act like you have to be having some human sacrifice to pay for your sin, for your fuck-ups. No, you can't. And it's immoral. It is absolutely morally bankrupt to try acting like just because you say you think something, that undoes what you did. This is morally reprehensible. It pisses me off. And I dare Matt Slick to try coming at me because of this, because I'll tear him a new ass. The idea of Passover, I'll touch on this briefly. Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 through 14. I've covered it in other videos, so I'm not going to totally go through it. However, I want to stress a few things. 1 in verse 4, that it was, if your household be too little for a lamb, let him and the neighbor next to him take it according to the number of souls. Every man shall, according to his eating, shall make an account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, and so forth. A male of the first year, taken out of the sheep and the goats. I don't think Jesus was 1 year old. And without blemish, I think the fucker was supposedly whipped. That tends to leave a mark. However, this is not talking about a human being, as that is repulsive. This is a lamb. A lamb. Because, and they shall eat it. They shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and bitter herbs shall they eat it. Christians, Matt Slick, was Jesus cannibalized? No. Then he wasn't the Passover lamb, and it wouldn't have mattered even if he was. What was Passover about? Scroll down. The blood shall be a token upon the houses where ye are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. It was about the God killing firstborn babies. It had nothing to do with sin. Nothing. It is dishonest to the core to try acting like Passover is about sin or redemption. It's not. That very notion goes against everything in Judaism. Thing is, back to the bullshit with Matt Slick. Number 4, we need apologetics to counter the bad image that Christianity has received in the media and the culture. Televangelists and their scandal, both sexually and monetarily, are a disgrace to Christianity. No, Christianity is a disgrace to Christianity. The core message of Christianity is a disgrace. Any belief system that has thought crime and torture as its main doctrine is a disgrace to it's a disgrace to humanity. It is a slap in the face to my morality to try and tell me that I need to go along with this. Fuck you, Matt Slick. It is biblically morally bankrupt. It is socially morally bankrupt. The aspect also of the media is against Christianity. Have you watched Fox News? Have you seen CNN? We're coming up towards Christmas. The media is all up Christians' fucking ass. When atheists say about no nativity and so forth at courthouses, Christians are outraged. You see it on fucking Fox News. You see it on the media. Christian bullshit. People talking about how Christianity is what this country is based on. It's not. The United States was founded with freedom of religion, which means the government must stay the fuck out of the subject. It is the people that have the choice of what they will believe or not, what religion they will practice or not. It is not up to the government to say, you have to do XYZ. You have to believe as we say. That's what the fucking founding fathers came over here to get away from. It is ignorant as hell to try acting like they would want to establish that here, when they were getting away from that. They were coming here to get away from that. This is the dishonest nature that is Christianity. But number 5, we need apologetics because there is a constant threat of apostasy in the visible church. Check that out. They need apologetics because there is a constant threat of people walking away from the church. Okay? You got that? It's not about the God. It is about the church. It is about money. That's the bottom line. They don't want to go by what's actually in the fucking Bible, because the fucking Bible debunks Christianity. Because Christianity is morally fucking bankrupt. But It's all about church denominations in their fifth. Number 6. Another reason we need apologetics is there are many false teachings out there. And they go into Mormonism teaches that God used to be a man in another world. That he brought one of his goddess wives with him to this world. But yet, these fucking idiots, and atheism denies God's existence. No, it doesn't. Matt Slick, you are misrepresenting atheism. Atheism is simply saying, I don't believe you. It is not saying if a God exists or not. That would be Gnosticism. To say, I know a God doesn't exist, that would mean you're a Gnostic atheist, which I don't know of any Gnostic atheists. I'm about as close as you can get to a Gnostic atheist, but I still use the term agnostic atheist because do I know that there isn't a God? No, I don't. I don't know. But atheism is about, do you believe? And the answer to that, do I believe? No. It is not about saying a God doesn't exist. It is about saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe you. I don't believe the claims. I don't believe in a God. That's what makes me an atheist. The fact that I am opposed to not just Christianity, but the Abrahamic religions entirely is what makes me an anti-theist. However, anti-theism and atheism are different. Even though a lot of atheists are also anti-theists. I'm also an epistemist, which means I see no value in faith. The thing is, this is misrepresenting atheism. But the idea that this Islam teaches that Jesus was not God in the flesh. Well, Jesus wasn't a God. Matt Slick, have you read your fucking Bible? Obviously, you haven't. Or you have ripped out Numbers 29 verse 19, 23 verse 19. God is not a man. Neither is he the Son of Man. You can read the rest of it. It doesn't change what I'm saying. God is not a man or the son of a man. Jesus was nothing. He wasn't a God. Numbers 23 makes that goddamn clear. Read the words on the motherfucking page. Don't try to rewrite it to be how you want. The words on the page make it very fucking clear. This idea of a Trinity is bullshit. It is actually getting Christianity into polytheism, or you could use the term of a pantheon, where they have multiple deities, because they also make the Satan character into a deity. You could also consider with Christianity as well as Islam that they make angels and demons demigods. The thing is, you are at that point, you are absolute polytheism. You are not a monotheism. Mono is one. That's it, one. Not two, not four, not a buttload. One. Mono. One. Deal with what is in the fucking Bible. Deal with what is written. Because if a God would exist, if the God behind this shit would exist, wouldn't it go by what this shit is saying? If it wouldn't have wanted people to go by this shit, why would it have put it there? And if it didn't, and Christianity is based on this shit, Christianity is wrong. If this shit is right, Christianity is wrong. Either way, Christianity is wrong. Thing is, the aspect of we need apologetics because there are false teachers, Matt Slick, you're one of them. The apologetics aspect is a false teacher because you're not going by what's in the fucking book. You're wanting to make up your own version. That's a false teacher. It really, I don't believe this bullshit. I want to make that clear to everybody. However, if you're going to talk about, like if you're going to talk to me about Star Wars, we're going to go by Star Wars. If we're going to talk about Hellraiser, I'm going to go by what was in the Hellbound Heart or the movies. I'm not going to be going by some bullshit you're pulling out of your ass. If it wasn't in the movies or in the book, where the fuck are you getting that? And to try and be, oh, it's my interpretation. Fuck your interpretation. Doesn't mean shit. What you want to make up is to use the term, a false teacher regarding what is in the fucking story. This is basic shit. If you're going to talk about a story, you have to go by that story. You're not getting to write your own. You want to write your own, write your fucking own. But don't try writing the code heels of something else, because that gets into plagiarism. To try and rewrite somebody else's work and try to claim it's yours. Number 7, the rise of immorality in America is a threat not only to society, but also to Christianity. Christianity is immoral, as I have gone into. It doesn't fit morality because according to Christianity, someone can rape, murder, steal, do any crime they want, and then just be, oh, Jesus, forgive me. I believe Jesus died for me. And that takes it away. Washed away. No having to be accountable for what they did. No having to change their behavior. All they have to do is mouth words. That is fucking immoral. I grew up with a very verbally abusive mother. And I would get verbally torn apart during the week. But on Sundays, oh, that was the day to get forgiven. Fuck that. Because every time my mom would verbally abuse me, right after she'd be, I'm sorry. And it didn't take me long as a teenager to look at her and go, no, you're not. Because if you were, you wouldn't keep doing it. Don't blow smoke up my ass and try acting like you're doing something wonderful or that you are sorry for something. No. If you keep fucking doing it, you're not sorry. Don't hand me the bullshit. And the aspect, just morality, Christians, you don't have a moral leg to stand on. But the 8th reason we need apologetics is that schools are not friendly to Christianity. Wah. Your religion has no place in schools. Separation of church and state. If you believe something, fine. Believe it all you want. It has no business, no place in schools. It has no place in the job market. It has no place on the money. It is why you have your fucking church. You have your beliefs. You are entitled to have your beliefs and practice them on your own fucking time. You do not have the right to try and force it in my ears. Because especially at my job, they don't want to hear all the ways that I can tear Christianity apart. So, for the most part, the subject is not even gone into. Because everybody that works with me knows, or they damn well should, that I am an atheist. That I am choose the term, an outspoken atheist. I will not hesitate to point out why this shit is immoral. Why Christianity is immoral. The thing is, the other thing I wanted to show you are logical fallacies. And I'm just going to briefly go through these because the thing is, I will have a link to the website that I've used in this in the description bar below that you can check this out. But an appeal to force is the first one I want to draw to your attention. Telling the hearer that something bad will happen to him if he does not accept the argument. That is the Christian's threat of hell. If you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to go to hell. That is a logical fallacy. It is an appeal to force, Matt Slick. Then you can also term the appeal to pity, urging the hearer to accept an argument based upon an appeal to emotions or sympathy. Look what Jesus did for you. It's an appeal to pity. That fucker doesn't even have my pity. You know why, Matt Slick? Again, it comes back to, I don't think you've read your fucking Bible. Deuteronomy 21, verses 22 and 23. This is the God's attitude. If any man hath committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, thou shalt hang him on a tree. Remind you of anyone? His body shall not remain upon the tree all night, but thou shalt bury him in that day, for he that is hanged is accursed of God, that the land not be defiled, which the Lord hath given thee for an inheritance. And for Christians like Matt Slick, if you want to try to say, well, Jesus was an innocent sacrifice. He died for everyone's sin. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination to the Lord. No matter how you slice it, you lose. You want to say Jesus was an innocent sacrifice? He was an abomination. And so are you. And you want to act like this God is going to be all to you thinking a certain way? I don't fucking think so. It's morally bankrupt. But then there is the appeal to popular, or appeal to popularity, urging the hearer to accept a position because the majority of people hold to it. That the majority of people in the United States are Christians, so that means Christianity is right. Bullshit. It is an appeal to popularity. And there's also appeal to tradition. That pretty much the Christmas shit, we have to keep doing the same old bullshit because it's tradition. It's a logical fallacy. Another one that's common with Christians, begging the question, assuming the thing to be true that you are trying to prove, that God exists because the Bible says so. The Bible is inspired, therefore we know God exists. Sounds rather familiar to what I hear from apologists. I could go on the circular argument, see begging the question, but there is also, there's guilt by association, non sequitur, poisoning the well, presenting negative information about a person before he or she speaks, so as to discredit the person's argument. The Frank is pompous, arrogant, and thinks he knows everything. So let's not hear what Frank has to say about the subject. It's termed poisoning the well. Red herring. Here's another one Christians are really, really big on using. Introducing a topic not related to the subject at hand. Special pleading. Oh my, double standard. This is a classic Christian apologist's tactic. Applying a standard to another that is different from the standard applied to yourself. That the universe needs to have a creator. And then that you can't get something from nothing. Okay, who created you? God. Oh, God doesn't need a creator. Special pleading. You don't get to have a different standard for your God that you have for the universe. If the universe needed a creator, so did your God. Then there is the straw man argument. But feel free to check out the logical fallacies that Matt Slick lists, even though with Christian apologetics, he commits logical fallacy after logical fallacy after logical fallacy, even though he obviously knows it's a logical fallacy. The thing is, what they also do is they twist the Bible. They don't really give two shits about what's in here. They only care about how can they twist it to try and make it fit what they want. It is intellectually dishonest. And to try and act like an atheist is full of hate just because they don't have time for your stupid bullshit. It's not about hate. Especially when I'm correcting you. But I saw another person had said about how they answer things with biblical accuracy. I laughed and I was like, I didn't know you're into comedy. Because that's a definite joke. The aspect of someone saying, I'm interested in biblical accuracy, but yet they're twisting the Bible to fit their dogma. They're not going by what do the words on the fucking page say. That is really fucking stupid. But feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.